Good morning, beloveds. This is what 4 miles looks like. We have hair appointments today, and so that means that we drove over to the Goforth Park, which it's a 2-mile loop around a lake with ducks. And yeah, it was 69 degrees when we got there. I think it's 76 now, and I'm hot, and I took the run only semi-seriously. I stopped and took pictures of birds a lot. Like, normally I'll run one loop, and then the second loop, I'll run walk the first loop, and then the second loop I'll stop and take pictures. And today I was just like, no, that's an interesting bird, I'm gonna stop. I'm just like, but it's also been 3 weeks since we've had a Saturday run, which is the long run, because we have been busy, and May has been an incredibly busy month. And so that's just what's going on here. All right. And that's also why I'm in the car. Coming to you live from the car. It is May 29th. Our title is Today I Feel the Active Power of God in Everything. One God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. And that is from Ephesians 4:6. The key thought for our meditation today is the idea that there is an active presence of the creative spirit in all our affairs. Not something passive, but something that is moving in and through everything we do. We should affirm that this divine presence is everywhere, that it is always active in, around, and through us. Believing that the divine spirit is at the center of everything and at the very center of my own physical being, I recognize this presence as harmoniously acting in every cell, every organ, and every function of my physical body. I praise it and bless it and recognize that it is doing its work well and in harmony with divine love and divine life. Recognizing the same presence in everyone I meet, I salute the God in people, and I know that it is, as surely as I do this, the God in them will respond to the same divine presence that is within me. Therefore, I love others and act in unison with them. Recognizing the one mind that governs everything, consciously I affirm that the same intelligence is governing my affairs. It is within me and around me at all times, directing, guiding, governing, controlling, and leading me happily to the fulfillment of all good purposes. Recognizing all nature as the handiwork of God, I see beauty in everything. I am one with the wind and the wave, with the sunshine and cloud, with everything that God has created. Okay. And I'm sitting here and I'm reading through this and I'm going, I'm waiting for that word controlling. I'm waiting for that word controlling because I know I'm going to see it. Because I have an issue with the word. And you may have an issue with the word too. Because we don't like to think about the idea of God controlling us, because that smacks a little bit too much of divine destiny. You are fated to do this. And it's clearly a trigger word for me. Because I don't believe that God controls me. What I do believe is that God is there. I do believe that God guides. I do believe that God nudges. But I also believe that we have been given free will and we are free to ignore those divine nudges. Life would probably work a little bit better if we didn't. But, it is what it is. This morning, the alarms were set for 6, and I had said something about leaving at 7, and Tom was okay with that. And then I got up this morning and I was like, nope, we have to be out of the house now, and just rushed him out of the house. And I couldn't tell you why. I just needed to be there. It needed to get out of the house. And we left 20 minutes earlier than I had originally said. And he even said, I feel rushed. And I said, so when we got to the park, I apologized. I said, I don't know what it is. And I can tell you that I think it was because I knew I needed the extra time in the park, because there's no turnaround point in that park. There's none. It's like when you're on the other side of the park, that's it. You have a mile to go to get back. And for me to do 4 loops, I needed that extra 15 minutes that we had. And if I hadn't had it, then I don't know. I would have either, I might have taken the run more seriously, but I think I knew I couldn't. So that's me listening to that nudge in my gut that says, go now, do this. I could have chosen not to. And I couldn't explain to Tom why. But, so I'm going to attribute that to listening to that divine nudge. Hey, you need a little more time in the park. You're not ready to run 4 miles at the speed that you think you're going to do this in the time that you think you've got. Let's go a little early. All right, today I feel the active power of God in everything. It's an interesting way to live, and it's talking about being more conscious of the divine presence, not just in you and not just around you, but in other people. I think that there's something to when he talks about it, and we'll get to it, when you recognize the God in other people, because when you are recognizing the God in other people, I think that gives them the opportunity to respond to you differently, and probably subconsciously respond to you differently. They may not be consciously aware of why they are responding to you differently, because the God in you is activating the God in them, which can sound a little creepy, but it's not. One God and Father of all, or if you choose, Mother of all, Parent of all. Listen to me messing with the Bible quote. One God, Parent of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. From Ephesians 4:6. So, the key thought of our meditation today is that there is an active presence in the creative spirit in all our affairs, not something passive. So that when we have those feelings like I had this morning, you listen. Because there's a reason. But something that is moving in and through everything we do. Me going to the park this morning won't change the world. It was just good for me. But that active presence within me said, hey, you need a little more time. We should affirm that this divine presence is everywhere, that it is always active in, around, and through us. It means that even in situations where we don't know, we know something that does, and that something that does is within us. Believing that the divine spirit is at the center of everything and at the very center of my own physical being, I recognize this presence harmoniously acting in every cell, every organ, every function of my physical body, which means that if things are not going well, then I absolutely can turn to that divine presence and say, all right, this is not working. Let's get on this. What do I need to do? And what are you doing? I mean, there's no reason why you can't challenge God and say, hey, this isn't working. What do we do about this? Notice how I said we. What do we do about this? Because we have as much responsibility in the function of our body as God does. So what are we going to do about this? Give me the guidance that I need. I will do what you guide me to do, and I firmly believe that you will also activate those cells and those organs and that elimination and assimilation and all of that. I believe that about my physical body. What are we going to do about this? I praise it, bless it, and recognize that it is doing its work well and in harmony with divine love and divine life. Getting back in harmony with our own bodies. Recognizing the same presence in everyone I meet. I salute the God in people, and I know that, As surely as I do this, the God in them will respond to the same divine presence that is within me. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It's like when I recognize the God in another person, when I recognize the divine spirit in another person, even if they are not acting that way, even when they're not aware of it, it's like, hey, I see the God in you. Do I say it out loud? No. No. I mean, to somebody that I know well that would expect that, yeah, I will say that. But to somebody that doesn't know me, or to a complete stranger, then am I? No, I'm probably not going to say that. But I'm going to say it internally. And then that gives the divine presence within them the opportunity to respond back to me. And it will absolutely change your reaction. But there are things that we can say, like, I'm grateful for the good in your life. That's one way that you can recognize the divine in somebody else and not be weird about it. And it's absolutely, if you haven't seen the soul session with Miyoki, then please go to the Creative Life Creative Life Spiritual Center's YouTube channel. Click the soul session playlist and listen to her, because she tells a story about how a woman came up and was just ugly with her, and she said, and she turned around and said to them, I'm grateful for the good in your life. She responded to the God in them, and then listen to her tell their reaction. It's amazing. It's amazing. So that's an opportunity that we have, and that's a way that we can recognize the God in them without them thinking we're complete weirdos. I mean, most of the people who know me, I know I am a complete weirdo, and I'm okay with that, but there are situations. Therefore, I love others and act in unison with them. Recognizing the one mind that governs everything consciously, I affirm that the same intelligence is governing my affairs. The intelligence that I use is the divine intelligence. And it is up to me to consciously use that divine intelligence. It is within me and around me at all times, directing, guiding, governing, okay, there's my trigger word, controlling, and leading me happily to the fulfillment of all good purposes. If I am working towards good purposes, it's going to guide me. If I am working at cross purposes, it's going to try and guide me. But in that case, then it's up to me to listen. Recognizing all nature as the handiwork of God, I see the beauty in everything. I am one with the wind and the wave, with the sunshine and the cloud, and with everything that God has created. And if you need to do that, go to the park. Go to the park. Whatever park is close to you, go to the park. Because today, we went to Goforth Park, and if you haven't been there, it's over in Cyprus. But there's a lake, so there's wind, and there's wave, and there were clouds, and there was sun, and you can see God. You can see God. Absolutely. And you can see God in the people around you, and in all of the amazing water birds, and just all of, in the water, and the flowers and the trees. And so it is, yeah. All right, beloveds. There should be a mission today, shouldn't there? There's always a mission. Oh, well, he said it. The key in our meditation today is the idea of the active presence. So our mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to be aware of the active presence of the creative spirit all around us, in us and through us. That's the mission. To be aware of the active presence. Not just aware of the presence, but aware of the active presence. To see how it interacts with us, how it guides us. And it might be as simple as get out of the house a little early. Or leave a little later. As always, I do encourage you, do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. Today, that was running 4 miles, and then I'm going to go home and take a nap after I get this mane tamed down a little bit. So, whatever it is, please be kind, be compassionate with yourself. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased. You deserve your own kindness, your own compassion, and your own love. And you are a great person to practice it on. Absolutely. So, do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like today. It can be simple or easy. Please drink some water. And as I have said before, me saying drink some water is my way of saying I love you, because you are loved. You are absolutely loved. You are loved by that divine intelligence. You are loved divinely by that active presence. And so as you are moving through the day, also remember, open the windows of your soul. Allow that breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven now. It's all around you. It just takes you being willing to open up and see it. So have a blessed day doing whatever it is that you are going to do. I do see a nap in my future. And do what you need to do to make it a fantastic day. All right, beloveds, have a wonderful day. Know that you're loved.